Hey guys, hope you're doing good. So wrapping up my quote-unquote week off. I had Monday through Friday off because my wife went up to get my daughter situated at school. She's out of state college, and so she's been doing that all week. So I took this week off. I'm still working all weekends, so I didn't miss any days technically, but I'll pick up some shifts next week, kind of make up for it. But it was a great week off. Got so much. It was just a wonderful time off. I needed it really bad. It's been like a battle. I feel like I've been in a war for the last 2 months. Just all the stress and all the strain, and it does make you deeper when you have to go through these stresses. I wish, my only wish is that I could do the heartfulness remembrance more, because I think that really helps you when you're struggling, is to do the remembrance. I do it as much as I can, but I don't know, it's almost like I feel like there's just so many distractions from it maybe, and as you become more clear, you'll have less and less distractions and be able to focus on that more. But whenever I focus on that, it's just instant peace, instant just relaxation. And today I just wanted to take a minute to talk about heartfulness a little bit, and talk about the process of it and my experience of it so far, and because it's really so subtle, and then kind of tie it into like what's going on in the world right now. So with heartfulness, what you have is the rediscovery of something called transmission. So in ancient times, I believe in ancient India, Vedic culture, they knew about this and they practiced this. And actually, if you watch that Praveen Mohan, he has a channel talking about all the ancient sites, and I've talked about this before. But they have these things called lingams in these temples, and I believe that those were charged with, because crystals can hold a charge. They can hold an energy, and people who do crystal stuff know all about this, and you can use them for all kinds of things. But I believe they used this technology, this transmission technology, to charge these lingams, and then, like when you got off work, you could stop at the temple, or if you had a day off, you could go to the temple and just look at all the beautiful carvings and paintings, and basically be entertained, but at the same time you're being cleaned. So you're actually receiving transmission and being cleaned by the charge that these, maybe they were priests, guardians of the temples, whatever they were enlivening that energy at all times. They're in that field of consciousness where they're able to enliven that subtle energy. It's so subtle, and it requires a very precise, special skill, or a certain level of development, I guess you could say. So the first president of the heartfulness system, they called him Lalaji. He rediscovered this transmission process, and I don't know how he did it. Maybe there's some books on it. I don't know how he rediscovered this, but he did. And at the proper intervals in humanity's timeline, the divine pushes out prophets, sages, Christs, masters, who re-enliven basically the information that's been lost. And so we've been going through a process maybe for the last 5,000-6,000 years. Hard to say how long, because there's a lot of, if you look at archaeology, they claim that the pyramids were built 2,000 years ago, and that's just crazy. They're much older than that. But anyway, there was a high technology level that was achieved on this planet, and it was lost. And ever since then, we've been trying to basically, the divine doesn't just abandon us. The divine sends us spiritual warriors, spiritual spiritually gifted individuals who enliven that subtleness of this divine energy. They enliven it in the relative, and that's a real powerful thing. And so anyway, Lology was able to rediscover this process of transmission, and he started transmitting. And Babaji, when Babaji was a young man, would go to Lology and sit with him and receive transmission. And then, of course, Babaji became, he was the second president of the Heartfulness System. He became to where he would actually was communicating with these divine beings, Krishna, and all these beings he was communicating with, and receiving a lot of information and knowledge. But at the end of the day, the Heartfulness President is just a being of just complete pure love. So their energy system, it's like a mirror, that's been cleaned, completely clean, and they just become a completely clear reflection of the divine energy. But not only are they just a complete reflection of this divine energy, they're actually able to transmit this energy also. So a lot of masters, and I don't know a lot, but my take on it is you would go spend time with these gurus, these saints, and just being in their presence, it raised you up, several octaves or whatever. So you're around them, you feel really good, and you feel really cleaned off, and you feel energized, and you could take the world by the tail. And then you leave and you feel this letdown. There's a letdown because that energy level you were at, you get dropped down to a lower level. And I experienced this myself many times. I spent some time with Panditji. I spent time at Maharishi International University working on staff. And when I left those, there was always a big letdown. It was like you felt like you just got dropped back into the shit, And so heartfulness is different, because in heartfulness, when you do the transmission, and I'll talk about remembrance too, but when you have the transmission come in, the transmission automatically just lifts you to that level. So you don't have to be sitting next to this master or going to an ashram and spending years and years doing austerities to achieve a higher level of consciousness. You can achieve the higher level of consciousness just simply by sitting and thinking about the light of the divine in your own heart. And that is kind of like the go signal for transmission to come in. And so remembrance is part of this, and this is the part I'm working on, because remembrance is kind of the whole, it's the key to the whole thing. So what they basically are saying with remembrance is you think of whatever version of God you can think of. So maybe it's a golden light, maybe it's a person, maybe you think about the Heartfulness President, or you think about Babaji or Lology or Krishna or Jesus Christ, or you think about someone who's that is at that elevated stage, and you think about them throughout the day. And what is essentially going to happen eventually is your mind and that become infused together. So you basically become locked in to that energetic, that higher energetic. It's not something you have to, you just become that. You become that state of being, that high level of being. And it's a natural process. It happens over time. It's not something you have to force. It's not something you have to do crazy austerities, and austerities just mean basically like depriving yourself of things. In India, the yogis, you'll see these yogis that have their arm raised up in the air, and they've had it raised in the air for 30 years or whatever. I mean, just insane bullshit like that. That's not going to help you progress. Now maybe that's whatever they're doing. I'm not judging, but it's insane, right? You just disabled yourself. So how are you supposed to take care of yourself? How are you supposed to defend yourself or feed your family? Or you basically have to just beg people for money. But with heartfulness, you can go full power in the world. You can be out there, um, doing the hard work and raising a family and going through all of the vicissitudes of life. And this heartfulness system is it's like a support system. It's like it's like the coal in your furnace. It just it keeps that light lit and keeps things cleaned off and keeps things brushed off. And there's going to be times in your life when you have more dedication and less dedication, and you're going to vacillate back and forth and in and out and uh, back and forward, and that's natural. That's a natural part of the process. So it's not something you want to like be beating yourself up about. It's just part of the process. You're gonna go back and forth, but heartfulness is just what I find with it personally is it's extremely simple, which I value. That I value simple things, especially as I get older. Sorry, excuse me. The older I get, the more I value it. The simplicity in life, and it gives me a tool. It's like a tool belt. I have a spiritual tool belt, and I can pull something out of that tool belt if I need it. There's different. There's other little like mental techniques that Daji teaches, and little points that you can focus on to help clean those points. So there's different things you can work on, and they did like a 30-day thing where they practiced, doing this the cleaning before you meditated and things like that. And it's kind of cool to follow along with that stuff if you have time, if you can, if you're able. And another thing that's cool about Heartfulness is it's all online, so everything's free. Also, it's all free and it's all online. So they put out little videos and things like that. I'm not too into that. I'm kind of a recluse when it comes to that. I already got caught up with all the TM movement and all that stuff, and I just got my fill of it. I don't want to be subjected to basically people that are trying to tell me what I need to be doing, and I just can't do it. I'll figure it out myself. But anyway, they have a lot of tools and a lot of resources and a lot of you can connect with trainers who can give you in-person sittings, or you can do it online. There's a group meditation in the DFW area every day at noon, and I do it as much as I can. I try to catch it on the days I'm off. It's amazing. My most amazing meditations are when I do the noon meditation. Transmission is subtle. It's very subtle. It's very powerful. It's a cleaning agent. I see a lot of people are talking about this quantum healing, the hypnosis technique, and I think it's super cool. And I was actually interested in becoming a practitioner of that, and I might still do it maybe one day. But you can go back and look at past lives, and you can dig up all the dirt. But what's cool about, and you can learn really interesting stuff from that. I mean, past life stuff it's valuable information, right? Because if you're carrying forward with patterns and behaviors and things that are causing you distress in this life because of past life stuff, well, then it's nice to know about that so you can work on that. But what I find with Heartfulness is you really don't need to know that, because in Heartfulness you're doing this daily cleaning process, and when you do the daily cleaning process, you're removing stuff from you're removing stuff from the day, from your stressful day or whatever, but you're also removing stuff from past lives and stuff we don't even know about. I mean, all the bombardment we're receiving right now on so many levels. I mean, we could spend hours talking about that, but this powerful divine energy, just this subtle cleaning process, it removes all that stuff. So you don't have to sit there and think, oh, I have to, I'm being, this and that, I'm getting attacked, and no, you just give it over to God. You give it over to this higher power. You get over to this cleaning process. It's almost too simple. You almost think, okay, this can't possibly work because it's too simple. But I've really felt it. I've really noticed things for myself. Things have been cleaned off, and especially when I first started. So the reason I wanted to bring all this stuff up is because I see a parallel to what's happening right now in the world, and I've talked about this before. A parallel to heartfulness and the subtle energetic of the divine, because what I see in the social unrest and all the things we've been seeing is everything could have been 100 times worse. We're really seeing the attenuated version of this timeline. We're seeing we're basically seeing an obsolete timeline being played out, and it needs to be played out because it's a for different reasons, and I'm not going to go into all the reasons, but one of the reasons is simply, to get people to, snap out of it and realize that they have the power to be co-creators, and because that's the highest level, right? To be and that's why this remembrance is so important, because remembrance ties you back into your co-creative ability and what we're really about as a human being. We're really part of this divine energy, and when we fuse our consciousness with that divine consciousness, that's when joy begins. That's when happiness and true bliss really begins, and that's what we're all destined for. And so as a collective, we have to go through a certain cleaning process, and this is the cleaning process. We're in the cleaning process right now, and when you clean house, I mean, I lost my phone the other day. It was kind of funny, and I knew it was in the house, and I spent an hour. I mean, I literally spent an hour looking for my phone, but I had to get my flashlight out. And when I got my flashlight out, I was looking. You know how when you lose something, and you're just looking in crazy places. Well, I was looking in all these crazy places, and I could not believe how dirty our house was. I saw dust and dirt, and I was like, "Oh my God, this place is filthy." So I got the duster out. I started cleaning. I thought, well, if I can't find my phone, at least I can get the house clean. So I dusted, and cleaned and did a bunch of stuff around the house. And so you don't notice it until you don't notice all this dirt and grime until you do the cleaning process. And that's that's where we're at right now. As a collective, we have to have this experience of being shown. We have to be shown what's been going on, and they're doing it in the most gentle possible way. I mean, it's so gentle, and so and also the media is going to be used to expose all the stuff. They've been hiding it, and now they're going to be used to expose it. And I made a video about this a long time ago, and predicted this. But Megan Rose talked about this also, and Janine has been talking about it. Basically the same thing. That the good guys are in charge now, and they're going to use these institutions and these. The media is the big thing, because the media is the big sleeping pill. That's the thing that really keeps people sleepy. So anyway, I know it's a long video. I hope you can hold in there with it. I'm not really, advocating that you go learn heartfulness. I honestly don't care. If you feel attracted to it, though, I'm going to tell you, for me personally, it's been great, and it's worth looking at because it doesn't cost anything. If you could try it, and if you don't like it, you're out actually $0. That's the thing I love about heartfulness too. They don't charge anything. And when I was in the TM movement, it was all about the money. They charge for everything, and thousands of dollars for these meditation techniques. And then they had advanced techniques. They charge money for those. I mean, it's not right. So anyway, hope y'all are doing really well. Hang in there. It's gonna be a wild ride. It has been a wild ride, but the remembrance is something I'm gonna work on, and I'll give you an update on how that's going. But anyway, peace to everybody, and have a good day.